Welcome, everyone. This is Darin Kidd. I hope you and your family are safe and healthy. I am excited today. I know we're broadcasting through, multiple platforms. And real quick, while I mention that to you, I'm going to go ahead. For some reason, StreamYard is changing the privacy on my personal page. So I'm going to change that real quick. All right, there we go. So anyway, we're broadcasting on my personal Facebook page because this can pertain to a lot of you that are maybe watching it on the personal page, my business page. We're on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe and like the video if you like this type of content. And I know we got Periscope. We got about 30,000 people on Periscope. We've got Twitter. So we've got multiple platforms that are broadcasting all at one time. And do me a favor, as you join, let me know where you're watching from, what city, what state, what province in Canada. Or I know our special guest today, she likes to ask, what's the weather like? Right, in your area. So if you want to share what's the weather like in your area, that's awesome too, because I will bring her on here in just a second. Let's see, we got Brian out in Connecticut. Welcome, Brian. Thanks for joining. We got people from all over on different platforms. We got Peace from Nigeria. We've got, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right, Quintox from Switzerland, but you keep showing up. I promise you I will get your name right. All right, we got Long Beach, Mr. Stoglin. I'll say that, all right, because I don't mess up your first name. But I'm excited, and we, first of all, for those of you that have been on the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of great guests that have been on here sharing just an incredible amount of value, and I've been encouraging you to share. So do me a favor, if you're sharing, make sure you let us know in the comments because we're going to do some giveaways. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 30-minute giveaway coaching session with me. And so 2 weeks ago, we had Howard Smith that won the coaching session. Congratulations, Howard. I know we've already had our time, and it was great chatting with you and talking to you, and excited you have a lot of growth going on in your business. Last week's winner is Chantel Varence. Okay, Chantel. Now, I've got friends of mine that spell it exactly the same, that say Chantel or Chantel. So Chantel Varence. If you will do me a favor, if you will shoot me a message through Facebook, and then also send me an email at darin@darinkid.com. We will set up a coaching call with you. I'm excited to see what you have going on and see how I can add value and help you in your journey. So let me look one more time. We got Lisa. Hey, Lisa. We got Shelly in Wisconsin. Lisa's in New York. We got Becky in Iowa. You have snow? Oh, my goodness. Becky, you have snow. That's pretty amazing. We got Ron. Hey, why not? 2020, you know what? We've had everything else. Why not snow? We got Ryan Green in Texas. So again, let me know if you share in the comments below, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back after this broadcast and we will pick a winner for this week as well. All right. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. And as we go through this conversation, I want to call it, please do me a favor. When you have an aha moment, I saw Kim do this the other day on her training, her interview, and it was very effective because it was interesting to sit back as a guest myself and to be able to learn and take notes and to see. And sometimes it took someone in the comments saying #aha and then sharing what their aha moment was. And I got something from them commenting that I missed when Kim initially, mentioned and talked about what they were talking about. So I think that's a really great idea. But we're going to go ahead. I'm going to bring her on, and then I'm going to introduce her as I bring her on. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any comments. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to talk about how I met Kim, then I'm going to bring her on here in just a second. So what's fascinating is that if you want to grow slow in life, here's what you do. Here's the tip. How many of you want to grow slow? I'll guarantee you it's not too many of you. Hey, Jason. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Becky. Right? Here's the way you grow slow. You try to figure it out yourself. If you want to grow fast, you hire a coach. You go to a mentor, you find someone that has what you want, and you model what they do. Okay, you take their advice, you be coachable, and then as knowledge is not power, it's potential power. So then what you do is you implement the tips and the strategies and techniques that they share with you. And so it's pretty interesting. You find someone, if you buy their opinion, you buy their lifestyle. So you're probably not going to reach out to me after this and say, hey, Darin, share with me your best hair care tips. That would be crazy. So it's a lot, but you know what? It's just as crazy to go to people that do not have the lifestyle that we want, that don't have the results that we want, and to ask their opinion. Why don't we go to our broke friend and say, what do you think when it comes to business? Give me some of your top business tips and strategies. Why would they ever do that, right? But we do that. I know I used to do that. So I went to Kim Garst years ago. I didn't know her, and I saw her speak on stage. I'm trying to remember where we even met, but I started seeing her everywhere. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like this lady has got it going on. She is doing so many great things. And so what I did was I seeked her out and I hired her. I flew to Florida. And like always, I had those negative friends and family going, I can't believe you're going to, spend that kind of money, paying someone. Why would you do that? Well, why would I want to spend many years spinning wheels trying to figure out what to do when I can hire someone or read a book where someone spent their whole life trying to figure out what to do, then put it in a book, take a course, and shave months or years off of my learning curve. And so that's what I did. I basically had no social media presence whatsoever. And I hired Kim Garst, and we sat down for an entire day. I had a VIP day with her, and she helped me, kind of figure out where to go and what to do. And you are seeing the results, and she has been a big part of those results of following several 100,000 people, one of the top, YouTube channels, in network marketing, different things like that, because she's taught me how to go out there and get my message and provide value. And so I've just, I'm so excited to have her on here, because not only that, she has built seven-figure online businesses, not one, not two, 7. And what's even more powerful than that is the amount of people that she's helped do that. And so it's not like she doesn't know what she's doing. I mean, you do it once, you may be lucky, right? You may have struck gold. But when you know how to do it time and time again, and Kim, I was sharing this on a previous training that I did. I go, look, it's not enough to know the numbers to the combination, but you want to know what order. You can have the right numbers, and it's still not going to unlock the vault unless you know in what order. So you've done that. You're an international best-selling author. You're a keynote speaker. Forbes listed you as one of the 20 most powerful social media influencers. And I just got to say that, and not only that, her heart. Okay, this is why I love good people. I love telling other people about great people like Kim, because sometimes our actions speak so loudly, people can't hear what we're saying. And so one of the things you will find out about Kim is she is just an amazing person with a great heart. She loves helping people. It shows through in everything that she does. She's got the patience like no one's business, because she's had to deal with me. Right? In the South, when you don't really know what to say, you say, "Oh, bless their heart," right? So she probably gets off the phone with me a lot of times and goes, "Ah, oh, bless his little heart," right? But Kim, thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited to take some notes from you today, and just wanted to thank you, first of all, for showing up.
Well, I'm super excited to be here. Hello, everybody. I've been watching everybody come in, and I just want to say hey. And I wanted to circle back. Thanks for that lovely intro. But one thing that really stuck with me that you were saying, and I pray that I always do this, and everybody, is that my actions speak louder than my words, or that I actually show up and make a difference. It's part of my DNA. So thanks for saying that. That really blessed me. Thank you.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And I mean that because I'm telling the world about you. So every other day I'm going, you got to meet Kim Garst. Like, you got to talk to Kim Garst. And I'm doing everything I can to send them your way. And so everybody, while you're, again, I know we got quite a few more people that just jumped on. A couple things real quick. Let me know in the comments below if you're sharing, because there's a lot of people right now that need to hear what Kim is going to talk about. Not only, I know we have a huge following when it comes to network marketers. This is going to be a lot of great information for you, but there's also a lot of you, right? The majority that are part-time network marketing, that are also real estate agents. You're in the insurance business, like you're an entrepreneur, or you have never been an entrepreneur and you're looking to start doing things now to work from home. So make sure you share. Let me know in the comments, because we are going to give away some stuff for all the people that share. Also, I wanted to bring this up real quick too. If you go to darinkid.com/Facebook, which is on the screen, I have created a download, 25 top tips to crush Facebook marketing. Okay, so if any of you have not been able to download that, I would encourage you, definitely go download that. I spent a lot of time going through, and I've made a lot of mistakes. Like Kim will tell you that, right? And I could write a book on what not to do. It would be a bestseller because of all the things. But from the mistakes, you don't fail unless you quit. You either win or you learn. So from those things, I started making little adjustments along the way. And so I worked really hard to put that resource together that's completely free for this community and any community. You're welcome to share that with other people. And all right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So Kim, I know now is a really interesting time because whether it's network marketing or whatever, we're at a place that none of us have ever been before. And I've been in some situations like this, and I know you have several times as well, not a pandemic and not quarantined in our home, but we've been through some challenging times. And you and I have had these conversations going, you know what? That was the best thing that ever happened to me. Once we got through it, if we had the right perspective and we did the right thing. So I'd love to hear like your point of view of like where we are right now, what's happening, where you see things changing, because there's no one you have to convince now that, hey, look, it's probably a good idea to learn some new skills. It's probably a good idea to learn to do something from home. Not a matter of if something like this will happen again, it's a matter of when. And so I'd love to hear your perspective on what you think is going on right now and how to best, get the most out of these times and prepare for the future.
Yeah. I think that having been in the online space for 29 years, I started my first online business 29 years ago. Crazy. I know it sounds ridiculous when I say it because it doesn't seem like it's been 29 years. But I've seen a lot of things come. I've seen a lot of things go. And that has been an advantage, honestly, over the years because I've learned the art of the pivot. That's what I call it. Things that I would use I'll just go all the way back. Like one thing, Yahoo was the only search engine back in the day, right? And I made a small fortune off of Yahoo banner ads. So for those of you who may be a little bit older and remember banner ads, that was something that was beneficial and it left. And, nobody does banner ads really anymore, right? And so there's been a lot of evolution in the internet space, and there's literally evolution each and every day in social media. So I have learned the art of the pivot. I have also learned to embrace failure because we try things, we throw things out into the world, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. In fact, I would suggest to all of you who might be scared of trying something, just embrace it. It doesn't matter if you fail, you learn from it. You don't fail because you learn from the process. But as it relates to where we are right now, specifically in this era of, coronavirus time, the crisis, the pandemic, whatever you want to call it. I think it's such a wonderful opportunity right now to position ourselves for what's coming. And I don't think the genie is going back in the bottle. There's so many things that have happened that have been a byproduct of all of this. There's been people who were in traditional jobs. It may be you, where you had a traditional job and you now are working from home, because that's assuming you're blessed to still be getting a paycheck, right? Or you have no paycheck right now, and my heart goes out to you if that is your situation. But the point of it is that there's a lot of people who have realized that they are not in control of their destinies, and those people are going to be searching for opportunities. They're going to be like, maybe the gig space is going to be huge going forward. So many people are going to be looking for opportunities that they can control themselves, make their own money, whenever they want. So if you're in a network marketing company now, then you need to be revving up, all engines turned on and going full steam ahead. If you are pedaling along and, you need to rev up your engines a little bit and get going, because there is going to be a wave, in my opinion, of people that are going to be needing you. And then there's also people, obviously, if you've got in a network marketing company that, network marketing companies have the best products. So why not get out there and be telling people? There's still people spending money. A lot of people say, oh my gosh, no, it's insensitive to be selling right now. I throw the BS flag on that. There's a lot of people that are home and they are, spending time on the internet. They are looking for things that they haven't had time to research potentially before. So people are definitely selling right now. It is a unique and unique time, but I just really recommend that you guys get yourselves out there, be visible, and matter in some meaningful way.
That's awesome. And you said a couple things. And for all of you that follow me, I like to go back and make sure you don't miss any of the golden nuggets, because it only takes one thing. When I get on a training like this, I'm like, if I can get one thing, it can completely change my business and completely change my life. So when she talked about don't worry about failing, I think that was one of my lowest points when I had bankrupted and lost pretty much everything and felt like I couldn't go any lower. It took that for me to get to the point going, I don't really care what other people think anymore. And we're going to fail. I just want to fail faster and hurry up and get to where I want to be. And Kim, I shared a story last week. It's for me, it just, some stories, they ring a bell and they mean something a little more to us than others. But this one, Rick Warren was talking about how he met this gentleman and he worked at a lumber yard his whole life, a sawmill, and he got fired. And it devastated him at first. But then he got home and his wife said, what are you going to do now? He's like, well, I'm going to go out and take a chance and do what I've always dreamed. I'm going to start contracting. So he mortgaged his house. That guy, his first couple jobs were hotels. And that was the co-founder of Holiday Inn. So within 5 years, what he thought was the worst thing of his entire life, he worked his entire life and it was all gone within a moment, ended up being the biggest blessing because he was a multimillionaire within 5 years. So as long as we have the right perspective and we ask the right questions as we're going through, times like this, I love where you talk about, don't worry about it. Just go out there, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
I think too, Darin, just to tag on to that, I've long said that desperation will either breed great things or it will make you crumble. So if you are in a financial crunch right now, get innovative, get out. I mean, pivot, figure out, hustle. Like there's opportunity today. It's just a matter of whether you're going to step into it or you're going to wallow in it. If you wallow, you're going to be worry doesn't do us any good, guys. Like, or the, whether it's worry or whether it's inaction, both are paralyzing. And it takes a lot of energy to support that negativity. Take all that energy, all that, and just pour it into positive things, and know that you have everything you need in you. You just got to step into it. And I know it's easy to say, but it's true. Anybody will tell you that. I mean, I'm definitely a byproduct of desperation. I've been in desperate situations, and if I had wallowed there, I would have gone further down the little spiral thing, just kept washing on down versus rising out of it. So it's sometimes hard, and obviously in this time where it's a little crazy, but we can do it. Each and every one of us can.
I agree. Yeah, obstacles lead to elevation. And one thing that you said to me recently too, as a friend, you go, "Hey, Darin, focus on," because I'm just being transparent for all of you. All of you know I am a hot leader, right? A hot leader, and you're looking at the camera right now, going, "Darin, we can see you. Unless you have a rock filter you can put over there, you're not that hot." Okay, not that kind of hot. Honest, open, and transparent. Yeah. And so I was talking to Kim. I'm like, "Well, Kim, I don't have this and I don't have that," and she's like, "Quit focusing on what you don't have. What you have, everything you need." Exactly what she just said to all of you. Focus on what you can do, not what you can't do. Focus on where you're going, not where you've been. And sometimes we need those people, and that's another reason that I always like seeking out people that are great mentors and coaches and have what I want, the lifestyle that I want, whether it's spiritual, physical, business. Because sometimes it takes those people like Kim sharing with me. A blind spot is called a blind spot for a reason. We can't see it. It's blind to us. But when Kim said that to me, like we had a conversation earlier today preparing for this, and I told my wife, I'm like, I can't wait to tell you what Kim was sharing with me, right? It was so encouraging and it was uplifting, and it was some things that I needed to hear I wasn't really seeing myself. So let me know in the comments below, hey, how many of you have ever, had challenges in your life and you go, you know what, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And when you're going through it, I'm not going to lie to you. When I was going through the bankruptcy, couldn't feed my family, I didn't go, yes, this is so awesome, But later on, I look back and go, man, thank God that happened, because I never would have changed directions and changed paths if that hadn't happened. So that's a great point. Another thing that you said too, Kim, that I think is really important, that we'll get into, some of your tips, is that the timing of where we are. Before, especially those, that are in network marketing, you had to really sell people on, hey, look, you may want to have an extra stream of income at your job in case you get laid off. Or, you may want to have a plan B. Or you may, or even if you're not network marketing, you may want to not have all your eggs in one basket, right? And now, and I encourage you, be very sensitive. Now's not the time to go back to your friends and family and go, I told you, you should have listened to me. What's up? Now you ready? No, they're never going to be ready, right? You have to be very sensitive and very caring, because, it can happen to anyone. And so we never have to sell people on that ever again. Every single person is learning that they're looking for ways to generate income from home. They're looking for a way to learn a new skill. And I heard a guy the other day say, if we're not growing during these times, we can't say we don't have the time, right? We either have to say it's not a priority, or, it's just not a priority, right? We can't say we don't have any time. So with the timing, I really think it's critical, because if we want something different than the masses, we have to do something different than the masses. And so right now, like you said, Kim, you're like, man, it was inspiring this morning when I'm growing more than I've ever grown. If you don't mind, share with people like what you're doing right now, knowing this too shall pass. We're going out of it. What are you doing now to prepare for when we do go out of it?
And so to your point about the timing, there's very few times when there's something new that comes along, and there's what I would call an early adopter opportunity. In my space, like when there's a new social platform, like TikTok, for example, or, when Periscope first came along and the live video movement started, I was an early adopter there. So it's very rare that you get that opportunity to have those early adopter moments. This is one of those moments that's much bigger than a tool or a platform or anything like that, because it's global. I mean, the entire world is a part of this pandemic. It's not like it's isolated to, a small town in Louisiana or it's not a specific locale. It is worldwide. And because you have this opportunity right now, and like I say, it's all positioning right now. There is going to be a lot of things that are going to be in my opinion, the favor of those who embrace the opportunities and see the opportunities. There'll be a lot that just won't. I mean, that's pretty normal, honestly. Even when there's like a new tool or a new resource or a new whatever, sometimes people see the opportunity out the gate and some don't. But those that don't are usually the losers, right? And I don't mean that like they're losers. I mean, they're like losers in the from the perspective that they didn't get to take advantage of it to the degree that they could have if they stepped up. And that's what I think we have right now. So for me, my community is a lot of my community are service providers, people who help others grow their businesses. Maybe they're a social media manager or a consultant, or maybe they do Facebook ads, or a lot of my community is, again, online service providers of some sort, maybe a virtual assistant or something like that. Well, when this pandemic came about, many of their clients pulled their contracts. So like I have an agency, a marketing agency, and many of my clients pulled their contracts because they were nervous, they were scared. And so I had a lot of people who literally went from having 6-figure businesses, in some cases 7-figure businesses, to having no revenue coming in. So I'm like, how do I show up? How do I help those people? And so I took my marketing knowledge and I started sharing, how somebody that is at a very baseline point that's just been trading time for money, how can they take the knowledge that they've been using to serve that client? How can they take that knowledge, package it up, and start to sell it? So I've started a series of small courses to get those people that in my community that need to pivot, teach them how to pivot. So that's the same for each and everybody that is listening. Yeah, how do you show up in a way that's going to give value to those that you want to help in this time? And in some cases, it's going to be providing an income stream for them. Sometimes it might be an opportunity to give them a resource, like a product that your network marketing company offers. They may be searching for it. It's just a variety of ways. Sometimes it's just showing up and being a voice, like a connection. Right now, people are clamoring for a connection. So there's a lot of opportunity right now.
That's awesome. That is great. Yeah. And I'm watching you do that, and I've been participating and watching your lives and learning as well. So I really appreciate all that you're doing. And it's powerful. And yeah, the timing, and what's pretty crazy, Kim, is that, years ago you had to go out and physically meet people, and you had to, lease. I had 2 franchises, and we had to, 5-year lease at several thousand a month, and you had employees and you have overhead. And so now, right from our smartphone, you can pretty much, the world is your store, the world is your market. And so that's exciting. So what would you recommend? Any tips? Because this is something that everyone can do, no matter what your background, no matter, what you've done in the past. You can learn the skills that you need to go out and provide value and reach out to other people and connect with other people. And I believe that, again, every hour that we work now, the way that I'm looking at it, Kim, it could take, because we know it's going to pass. This too shall pass. And people are going to go back to work. Life is going to get back to whatever it's going to get to. And there's going to be a lot of distractions. So now is the time to connect like never before. Now is the time to learn new skills. So what are some of the tips, strategies, things that you would, recommend for all the people that are watching if they've never done it before, or maybe they're just getting started?
Right. Well, this is the fascinating part. You guys have everything. I've said this before. You have everything you need right now. If you've got a mouth and you've got fingers, like if you can type or you can talk, you've got what you need to connect with people. It's just making sure that you do so. And my first suggestion would be, because like I said, there's so many people right now that are really they're isolated perhaps, or even if they're not isolated, they're in a situation where they're not used to being confined, if you will. So I'll just use myself as an example. I am an online entrepreneur. I've had a home office for years. So it's not like, I'm not used to being home, but it's the fact that now that I am home that I can't do what I would normally do. Like if I wanted to make a decision to go out to dinner and I, wanted to go out to dinner, fine, go, I could do it. Right. It's now because I can't do those things that I feel confined. Or maybe, you're trying to work from home and your kids are running around all over the place. My kids are grown now. But a lot of people still have littles at home. Right. So they're looking for connection. And guess what? Network marketing is all about relationships. I mean, it's like belly to belly. And a lot of people think that just because you can't have home parties or do a lot of the traditional stuff that, a lot of companies teach you to attract people to your business. Guys, you've got literally millions of people at your fingertips. Literally millions of people at your fingertips. So start with people, do outreach. Hey, how you doing? Have a conversation, have some Facebook parties or some Zoom parties, or, and it's not about necessarily selling them your product or service. It's about showing up and as a human being and connecting with people. Start there. And I would be intentional with it. I would reach out to 5 people a day at a minimum. Hey, how you doing today? How's this coronavirus time treating you? What are you struggling with? How can I help? Start opening the door to conversations. That's number one.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, conversations, to me, it's about how many conversations can you start on a daily basis? Yes. It's not about how many sales you got, how many recruits you got. It's how many connections. And what I would do before I went just into the training world, I would ask myself at the end of every day, if my organization did what I did today, how much money would I have made? And sometimes I like that answer. Sometimes I did not like that answer. And now with social media, and once again, it's almost like our parents when they go, you have no idea how good you have it, right? We had to walk to school backwards, uphill. I had to beat a bear to death with my trapper keeper one time. Right? Most of you don't even know what a trapper keeper is. How many of you know what a trapper keeper is? I'm just curious. It's kind of like that. We used to have to physically go out and meet people and have a conversation and, market just like our franchises, right? Like we had frozen yogurt franchises, and the one we had in Knoxville, Tennessee, we had spent $400,000 in. And I don't care what you felt like our partners were out every single day going to festivals and dropping off coupons and dressing up because it was called Sweet Frog. So we had this big frog uniform and they would dress up in a frog suit and out there going, come on, hop on in. I mean, but when you have $400,000 invested, quitting is not an option and failure is not an option. Like you're just whatever it takes. And I think sometimes when we work from home and the network marketing, we take those things for granted because what's easy to do is easy not to do, right? I mean, it's not like you invested. How do you get into network marketing? I'm in. How do you get out? I'm out. It's very simple. So connecting with people, and it's this simple. If I talked to Kim and she wasn't interested in what I did before, I could simply go, Kim, how are you in the family? Hey, listen, I know what I'm doing is not for you because you had mentioned that to me before, but do you happen to know of anyone that may be looking to generate some extra income from home? If not, no worries. No big deal.
And again, it's not necessarily even about introducing that element out the gate. It can be just as simple as just checking in with people initially, and then maybe the conversation goes there. But you can't see a dollar sign on everybody's forehead. You have to showcase real care. And I would suggest if you're going to follow this strategy that you use your voice instead of your fingers. Because it's a different element. And we can do all that with our phones. I mean, there's so much opportunity. So you go to your Facebook Messenger, right? And there's a little audio thing there where you press and you can send a 1-minute message using your phone. So instead of typing something out that's impersonal and could look contrived, honestly, when you speak to people, there is nuances in how we say things. People get a sense from your voice. Even if they can't see you, they get a sense from your voice, the inflections there, that you really care. And you're not just like, working them because you have an end goal. So I've often said you have to serve, don't sell. If you go into that conversation with a servant-based heart and with the openness of, hey, how can I help you in this moment, then there'll be opportunities for conversion, whether that's getting them as a customer or whether that's getting them on as ultimately a distributor. But you got to start with, I think, with a pure heart, that, in the sense that it's not necessarily what you're after, even though it is what you're after. You just got to start from a pure place of service first. And then you can ask, are you, maybe the conversation swings to the financial side of things, because that's a big problem right now. In fact, I would bet you that will happen where, people are like, well, I'm out of work. And you're like, gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. And maybe that through that opportunity, you have an opportunity to present the fact that you can help them with that. Right. Yeah. But it has to come from a place of, otherwise people, they're like, that stinks. I don't want anything to do with that person. They can smell the stink before you ever open your mouth sometimes. So go into it with a servant-based heart. And I promise you guys that not everybody will say, well, it won't work for everybody, but it will work for some.
Right. Yeah. Don't have commission breath, right? People can hear what you're saying because you're so worried about not making the money. But it's the old saying that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And Kim, I think there's so many things to be grateful for, even through these times, and one of those is that it's causing us to focus on other people. I know it is for me. Like I've reached out to some of our neighbors and going, hey, listen, and some of them are up in age. And I'm like, hey, look, if you need anything from the store, don't hesitate to text me, call my wife, call me. We're more than happy to do that to help you, stay safe. And man, they have it's like you gave them the biggest gift. They won the lottery. They're like, you have no idea how much it means that you just reached out to check on our family. And so I think those little things do make a big difference.
And coming at it from that perspective, again, that's service, right? You're going into that opportunity or that outreach with how can I help that person, not how can they help me. Um, and that makes such a big difference. I think there's another really big opportunity in the social media space right now too, and it's a sign of the times. Is Well, there's actually two, and I'll separate. Well, there's several, but I want to talk about a couple in particular. I think Facebook groups are another great opportunity right now, simply because of the connection, the craving for connection around something specific. So, like for example, all of you guys that are like in the network marketing space, or are even considering trying to figure out how you can generate some extra revenue. That's a common thing right now. So maybe starting a Facebook group where it's about, something that revolves around that, residual income, or ditching the 9 to 5, or, whatever that kind of commonality that would bring a group of people in under that umbrella. And then, having those conversations, serving that community as they come into that environment. I think that's a really great opportunity. You'll see a lot of groups out there that do exactly that, where, they start a group around a common theme or connection point, and then that becomes a hotbed for leads and sales, essentially, because their ideal customer or client is in there. So I think there's a great opportunity for that, because a lot of people, again, are trying to connect right now. So that would be something I might suggest. And then what Darin's doing right now, guys, live video. If you're not doing it, you need to be. And start thinking it forward. I mean, even if it's just having some conversations, you could even do, I do a live show every Monday that's organized. I would say it's a show, meaning it's marketing that grows your business. And I have guests on and that kind of thing. It's a little more formal, if you would. Or you can just share your knowledge, share, or, I have a friend, my friend Jeff C., who is doing a whiskered, I forget what he's calling it, whiskered carving. That's it. So one of his passions is carving, wood carving. And so every evening he's been going live, plays a little music, showcases how he does his wood carving. And people are just clamoring to that because it's relaxing, and, it's a connection point. And it's not that most of those people are interested in wood carving. They're not. They're just interested in the conversation and the connection. And that's another opportunity. If you're in a network marketing company that is selling makeup, ladies, get out there and start showing people how to, like, put on lip liner, or, do something, contour their face, or whatever. But the point of it is to put yourself out there and let yourself be a connection point right now, because people are absolutely clamoring for that. And when you build relationships with people, that's the glue. That's all of it. I mean, that's leads to customers, that leads to distributors. But you gotta do those things.
That's awesome. And real quick, everyone, let me know in the comments if you would like for me to share with you how my 24-year-old son started an Instagram account 2 months ago or so, and he's already put on 6,000 followers. So do me a favor and let me know in the comments if you want me to share that with you. I'll give you that. But a couple things. So the Facebook groups. So Kim, I agree with you. They can go start a Facebook group, or there's so many Facebook groups that are out there you can join for free as well and connect with people. I know I've done that, where you start adding value in the group. Make sure you follow the guidelines of the group. Don't be spamming people and all that. You'll get kicked out of the group. But go in and add value, connect with people, which will lead to conversations, which will lead to connections in the DM, which you never know where those conversations can lead you. I mean, do you agree with that? Just even connecting with people in the Facebook groups, Kim?
I think that's definitely an opportunity, but you don't own that real estate. It's
Right.
not you're not building your own thing, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You might not want to have that if you can't. So when I say that's not necessarily a bad thing, in the context of going into the groups and adding value to those groups, that is a core strategy. Absolutely. When I say do your own group, don't even start your own group if you don't have plans to support it and you don't have the bandwidth to be there. So if you can't do your own, then definitely do what Darin just said and ultimately do that too if you have the bandwidth to do both, because I think there's value in jumping into other groups that already have a community of people that are your ideal client or a customer in this case, and or potentially could be distributors as well. But Darin's right. You can't go in just with a mentality again about it's all about me. It has to be value based to that community, or else you're going to get booted.
Yep, that's awesome. Okay, and the reason I'm going to tell you about my son is because the things that Kim is talking about right now is what my son has done, and I'm going to show you what happened with him. Live video, I agree there as well. You attract your tribe, and what's fascinating, if you look at the top 10 viewed shows, I saw a list of this months ago. What's interesting, Kim, is that the majority of those shows were like reality TV. There were things where they were videoing people that were not polished. they were just crazy. And we know that reality TV is not really real. But the point is, Sean Cannell and I were doing, actually I had him on last week, and he was giving an example of a lady that you could tell she was extremely nervous. She probably never done a live video before. She was in a company, I believe that it was a makeup company, and she took her phone and said, "Hey, everybody," and then she turned it away from her as fast as possible. And then she put it on her box where she's opening up her products and talking about them. But it was real. It was authentic. And people can appreciate you having the nerve to do something you're uncomfortable doing. And that video had several thousand views, because it was real and authentic.
And I think, honestly, people rally to those types of people who obviously need some support. They need encouragement, as a whole. And that's, I think, another thing that I think is really amazing around this coronavirus time is, people are good at their heart and at the core of them, I think. And you see a lot of really positive things happening right now. I see a lot of like family units, reconnecting, getting back to the simple things, getting creative, spending time together, going back to their, cooking and, not eating out as much, or because there's more time, they don't have to pop the frozen pizza into and they can cook something, So and I just hope that stays, that we remember that we've reconnected in a simpler time and things don't have to be so crazy. But I think that there's such opportunity right now around, and especially in the social space, because a lot of people are online right now. I mean, it's crazy. They're either Netflixing themselves to death, or my son says he's gotten to the end of YouTube. I'm like, is that possible?
That's funny.
Got to the end of YouTube. I'm like, okay.
People are saying I binged Netflix. I'm done.
So it's just, again, it's about showing up and really being connected to people right now. And if you do that with intention, you're going to see more customers in your business. You're going to see more distributors in your business. And more importantly, you're going to start leading from the front, meaning people are going to start gravitating to you.
Awesome. And thanks for sharing, everybody. I see you putting shared in the comments. Thank you so much. I'll make sure you're in the drawing. So let me tell you what my son did, Kim, and this is a story that you can use because it's pretty powerful. He's 24. He is huge into fitness in the CrossFit world. Functional fitness, working out. I mean, that's his life. And so I've been sharing with him, like, son, you get paid by your influence. And if you create that following and you give value, then you'll have people wanting to send you, to sponsor you, and you'll have people wanting to endorse you and things like that. Well, sure enough, he started doing that, and he's got free clothing. He's got nutrition people wanting to send him stuff like that. And what he did, I kept saying, look, make sure you focused on, and so his platform, you can't be everything on every platform. I'm sure you agree. So he was starting out. He started an Instagram account 2 or 3 months ago, and it has to do with his tribe, right? The people that he's providing value to, which the name of it is WOD 24.7, workout of the day 24.7. So what he's been doing, Kim, is going on there every day and just putting a workout for people to do from home. Completely free, just adding value. And so at first he's like, hey, Dad, I got a few hundred followers in the first couple of weeks, and then it started compounding. Well, since Saturday, he's put on 2,000 followers on Instagram, because what he's doing is he's going through, and I know, we've heard Gary Vee talk about the $1.80 formula, and I don't want to get too advanced, but what you do is you can search hashtags. So he searched hashtags that had to do with fitness and working out and CrossFit, Rogue, different ones that are the equipment. And he would go on and comment and engage on 9 or 10 different hashtags a day. So Gary Vee goes, when you do that, you're putting your 2 cents in. So if you find 99 hashtags, do 10 different comments on 10 different posts on 9, that's $1.80, right? 90 comments times 2 cents. Well, he just started doing it. And at first it was growing really slow. And he's like, man, I'm putting in a lot of work, and it's a lot of work giving these workouts every single day. Now what's happening, it's like a snowball, it's compounding. He's getting more followers in one day than he did the previous week. And every week that's growing. And now he's getting more attention, but he did exactly what you said. He provided value with getting nothing in return. He engaged with other people that were like-minded people, like attracts like. And then he's been consistent and persistent. And those things have helped him go from scratch. I mean, he's going to pass my Instagram account here in probably a month, and I've had it for several years. So anyway, Kim, I don't know if you have anything to comment on that.
I was going to say, he should probably be doing this on TikTok too. Just add the same content onto TikTok, because, he's in that demographic. For sure. I think a lot of people of his age are definitely on TikTok, and TikTok is an early adopter stage right now, where there's a lot of opportunity, obviously, but Instagram is another great opportunity. I'm not making light of what he's accomplished there. That is huge. And having a consistent strategy. It always starts with content, always, showing up with value in a way that matters to somebody else, and a lot of times I think people think that they don't know what that looks like. The reality of it is that we all have it. Quick example, maybe your company is an essential oil company. I'm just going to use that as a quick example. And one idea, if you wanted to go live, or whether that's on Instagram or do a tutorial, for example, for YouTube or whatever, on how to make bath salts with essential oils, right? So what's going to happen when people see that? They're going to be like, well, where do I get that? Like, where do I get that oil? Or where do I get that pedestal that you're, so you can, that's showing up and giving value. It's around what it is that your network marketing company is all about. Obviously, it's easier for some companies to do that than others, depending on their products. But even companies right now that sell toilet paper, I'm sure there's network marketing companies out there that sell toilet paper. Can you imagine what you could do with that? Like, there's just so much fun things that could be pulled into that, because can't find toilet paper right now. So it's just, it goes back to being inventive and servant based again, but still showing up in a way that people are going to ask about it.
There's so many hashtags. There's so many things going through my mind right now. Dad jokes when you're talking about toilet paper, and that I'm not even going to go into that. Right. The interview will go downhill. So Kim, I know you're extremely busy, and I know you've got other calls lined up. And so what I wanted to do was, first of all, let everybody know in just a second, I will give you, well, let me go ahead and put this up, because I want to talk about Kim last, not me. But this is the resource that I give you some tips and strategies on things that I did to attract people when I was building, because I recruited over 1,000 people during my career, but some of that was no social media and some of it was with social media. And I did the wrong things for years. And then I finally started learning some of the things to do right. I may not be fast, but I'm slow. And so this free resource is available for all of you to download and start putting into action. It's 25 top tips to crush Facebook marketing. And then to find Kim, you can actually go to kimgarst.com. And then Kim, I know they can click on your icons. I know that I'm on your business page and I'm plugging into the different interviews that you're doing. They're already on your page, a lot of great value. Anything else that you would like to say if people want to find out more about you and what you do?
Definitely check me out at kimgarst.com. My social platforms are almost all kimgarst.com, except for my business page here on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, it's Kim Garst Biz, B-I-Z. But there's a lot of content, free content, totally free. I focus mostly, exclusively on online businesses and growing your business online with digital and social media. So a lot of social media stuff, but there's also, you have to have the digital side to actually put the pieces and processes in place to make some of the social work, so I focus on both. So if there's anything I can ever do to help anyone, please just reach out. Like I say, there's opportunities. I do have a YouTube channel, and it is Kim Garst Biz as well.
So Kim Garst Biz. Yeah. And do me a favor, everybody, put your aha moment in the comments below. If you got an aha moment from the interview, I would love for you to share that real quick. And one thing I will tell you, that the one thing I love about Kim is I got so frustrated trying to put my pieces together. And I know we have people here, you're like, look, I've never done anything on social media except get caught in the scroll hole of Facebook, right? And that's okay. Start where you are, right? Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. I went through the same thing. I look back at some of the things I posted years ago and I'm like, what was I thinking, right? And but that's how we learn. You don't fail unless you quit. You either win or you learn. That's my attitude anyway. And so what frustrated me was I was trying to put all these pieces together and one person couldn't work with the next person. So there's some of you on here that you maybe have an established business, or you're definitely looking to take things to the next level. That's what I love about Kim, because we were sharing. She's like, Darin, that's why I started my company, is because I got frustrated because this didn't work with this and this person didn't know what this one was doing. So I definitely encourage you to go check out her website, follow her content. It is gold. I've learned so much from her. And like I said, I had virtually nothing when I started following Kim Garst. I hired her, started implementing the strategies, the tips, and the techniques that she taught me. And it is a huge part of why I have the following that I have now. And I'm definitely excited to continue to learn from her. Let's see. We got value is everything. Absolutely. I agree. And let's see. Vera Lynn says to be a servant leader right now and add value. Absolutely. All right. We got Kathy says, oh.
Yes, I love that. Yes.
Start a new Facebook group related to target market. Aha, awesome idea. It only takes one idea, right? Let's see. Kathy says, thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kathy, for joining us. Time is valuable always. And so when you spend some with us, I'm always appreciative.
Yes. And then Ed, I got on late. Is there a replay? Yeah, Ed, if you just go back to wherever you're watching this, as soon as we hit end, it will be on there. You can start from the very beginning. All right, let's see if there's one or two more. Then we're going to let Kim go. Ruben says, thank you, Kim.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, listen, Kim, thank you so much. Again, we know that your time is extremely valuable. We know that you have people pulling from all over the world to learn from you. And we appreciate your servant heart, spending time with their audience. And we hope everybody has an awesome rest of your day. Feel free to tag anyone that you know that needs to hear the information we just shared, which is pretty much every person, right? And we know they're at home. They should be at home. They're not going anywhere. And so we appreciate the shares. And if you do share, please make sure you put that in the comments below, because sometimes it doesn't show me everyone that shares. That way we can put you in the drawing for next week. And let's see, no better time to control your destiny. Even we have been saying a long time. Yes, I agree. All right, everybody. Well, listen, Kim, greetings from the Bahamas. Thank you for your nuggets. We got people from all over the world. So everybody have an awesome day. Kim, thank you so much. And we will see you on the next live. Take care.
Take care, guys.